evening. I am Anna Kulseth, the Director of Individual and Alumni Engagement at Chicago State Foundation, and I'd like to welcome everyone to our Fireside chat this evening. The Foundation is working collaboratively with the Chicago State University and the CTC CSU Alumni Association to bring quality programming and engagement opportunities for the entire CSU community. Tonight, we have two Chicago State leaders in conversation about what matters to alumni, the state of your alma mater and its service to the community, and how our alumni, some 30,000 people strong, can be a part of this growth and success. I'd like to introduce our speakers this evening. Zeldwyn Aka Scott Esquire was appointed the 12th permanent president of Chicago State University in 2018. For over 30 years, President Scott has a long history of servant leadership, playing a significant role in the Chicago community, serving on various boards, including the Anne and Robert H. Laurie Children's Hospital, the Chicago Housing Authority, and on our own Chicago State University Board of Trustees. Prior to her current role, President Scott spent more than 16 years as an assistant U.S. attorney in the Northern District of Illinois and served as Illinois' first executive inspector general for the agencies of the governor and public universities, where she developed the United States' first statewide ethics training platform for state government employees and created a protocol for the investigation of claims of misconduct, waste, fraud, and abuse. So we are lucky to have her. Joining President Scott tonight is another servant leader the institution is lucky to have, the CTC CSU Alumni Association President Yvette Warren. President Warren is a CSU alumna from the class of 2001, and she is the Chief Excellence Officer and owner of Vet Style Inc., specializing in event production, brand strategy, and public relations. Prior to starting her own PR firm, President Warren had a successful 30-year career with AT&T, leading their customer relations team, after which she spent time at C-SPAN and at CSU in roles leading logistics and events. And her servant leadership extends beyond Chicago State in various volunteer positions with the groups including the South Suburban Chapter of the AT&T Pioneers, the African American Telecommunications Professionals of AT&T, United Way of Metropolitan Chicago, and the Artie Blues Boy White Scholarship Foundation. President Warren's leadership over the CTC CSU Alumni Association and her commitment to partnering with the university and with the foundation on alumni engagement proves she is taking her role to fold in alumni with intention and focus. Thank you, President Scott and President Warren, for being here tonight. President Warren, take it away.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you everyone for being with us tonight. President Scott's intentional and focused leadership of CSU has a sharp focus on growing student enrollment, building the school's regional and national reputation for scholarship and academic research, and increasing alumni and community engagement. We all want our alma mater to be a premier institution that we're proud of. So I'm so excited to dive into this conversation with you, President Scott.
Good evening. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you for joining us. We're going to jump right in. Let's talk a little bit about dealing with the pandemic. My philosophy is that we're all suffering right now from some form of PTSD. These past 24 months have been so difficult for all of us. As a leader, how have you managed the stress of leading through these times?
Yvette, that is a great question. I think that, as a leader, most of the time you spend your time just kind of plowing through issues. But this is one where you actually had to stop. Where you had to stop, think about how you personally are doing and leading, and how you are actually asking your team and especially your closest team members to add a completely different skill set to their portfolio and continue to do the other work that's been assigned. I have encouraged people to take time away, turn off the computers, encourage people to have more family time, take that vacation, even if you're staycationing, and really think about what brings you joy right now. Mm-hmm. And also think about how you treat people right now, because everybody is experiencing something. They're experiencing isolation, loss, and it's been difficult for everyone. And I really encourage people to think about it in terms of grace. Mm-hmm. Show people patience, show people grace, because everybody is experiencing something.
Oh my, and you said a whole mouthful with that. I love the word grace. Tell me, how has the pandemic affected the university's operations?
Well, I will tell you, first of all, when we first into a remote learning environment, it was very clear that, and we had 2 or 3 weeks to prepare just flip our entire operations around and leave only essential workers behind. It did expose gaps. First of all, it exposed gaps in technology access. Many of our students did not have the technology they needed to keep learning. And if you saw our websites, we had to keep learning, we had to keep teaching. And so we were trying to support both faculty and support students in their relationship with one another. So we saw the technology gaps. We gave out free laptops. We gave out hotspots to students who needed internet access. We allowed limited access to our laboratories so that research could continue. So those were some of the immediate impacts. But then there are also sort of the not so immediate impacts. I mean, we were canceling campus, right? And canceling campus meant canceling the parking lot revenue, canceling the revenue from games, canceling the revenue from space rental. So that was an impact on the university's finances. And also, some students did not want to go to school remote. So while we had, for the first time in years, enjoyed an increase in enrollment, our enrollment was impacted by students who chose not to go to school where they couldn't be in a face-to-face learning environment with their teachers and faculty members and coming on campus. So these are all some of the immediate and longer term impacts we saw on the university.
Interesting. Can you tell me if there was any upside from the pandemic?
Well, upsides from the pandemic. Well, you started thinking about the mode of delivery of education and thinking about the future of education and whether there were some coursework or some course delivery methods that might be best served online. We thought about, when we were away from our space, ways that we could innovate our space to be more friendly to our students. And we also thought about, we became face to face with the immediate needs of some of our students for more robust mental health services. And one thing that we did, because most of our students are very comfortable being online, we instituted 24-hour online access to mental health service.
That is amazing. And I'm sure that a lot of people took advantage of that opportunity. What was your administration's key learning as a result of the pandemic?
Well, first of all, we know how to work. Know how to work together as a team. And I think another key learning is that the job must go on, even if you're away from space. But we also learned the importance of being in the space in order to manage the work of the university. So the first opportunity that we got to come back to campus, we came back as a team to our campus. We were back on campus July last year. In many instances, people have not returned to their workplace. Downtown is deserted. But however, Chicago State and its administration we're up and running because our work is place-based work.
I love it. And having had the experience of being on campus when campus reopened last fall and enjoying Spirit Day and all of the other activities and coming out to games, I can feel the energy. It's a beautiful thing. You talked a little bit about the virtual access to mental health support. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Are we offering any specific programs or services to support students, faculty, and staff during this pandemic?
Well, and thank you for that question. That as we talked about earlier when we started, this has had a significant impact on not just students, but all aspects of work and life. So we recently basically put out to our staff, reminding them of the resources they have, employee access resources through our insurance and benefit programs, through our EAP programs. For our students, in addition to the 24-hour online resources, we also have a counseling center that's staffed. And in addition to our counseling center, The counselors also offer group sessions for students. They offer ongoing anxiety reducing or test preparation resources so students can learn how to deal with the stress of being in a learning environment. And so those are some of the things that we made aware of, provided to our campus population.
Thank you. You know, one of the things that I was so impressed by at the last commencement was how many of our students are getting psychology degrees.
Yes.
And they're going to need them. So
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit more about the state of the university. How is student enrollment going?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we have been impacted by the pandemic. And so we've seen a decline in the first year of the pandemic. So we can now talk about this in terms of multiple years. We saw about a 10% decline in undergraduate enrollment, but we saw about a 15% increase in graduate enrollment. So that was all, and that was sort of a trend nationwide. More people were coming back to upskill and reskill with graduate degrees. This year, it's been a little bit different. We stabilized a little bit around enrollment. We saw a little bit of decrease in our undergraduate enrollment, but we've also seen a slight decline in our graduate enrollment. And in our view, you know, as we continue to move through the pandemic, we're going to see these efforts stable. We're going to see this stabilize because of the efforts that we're making around enrollment management and the resources that we are providing for students to encourage returning to or coming to education. For example, we're in the middle of a nationwide search right now for a new director of enrollment management. We have brought in an interim seasoned enrollment management professional to run the unit while we do our national search. I myself spent a large amount of time engaged in activities related to enrollment management. Not only do I meet with our community colleges presidents, and not only do I travel to meet with people who are associated with our community colleges, I also meet with school superintendents, principals, counselors, all with the goal of promoting the brand of Chicago State. But this is where, and when we talk about enrollment, the importance of alumni.
Yes.
Students make decisions about Chicago State. Now, because that's the only institution I'm talking about right now. Students make decisions about coming to Chicago State based on conversations with other people. So our alum are our most effective tool in engaging students with Chicago State. I talked to a student today who's about to graduate with a 3.3 GPA in criminal justice. Her mother is a Chicago State alum. Her aunt is a Chicago State alum. And she chose Chicago State based in part on those relationships that brought her to the institution. So this at the beginning of this semester, we had a campus-wide program on being an ambassador for Chicago State. And I want to offer that same program to our Alumni Association. We can train you to be a very effective ambassador for your alum, for your institution. So that when you're in a grocery store wearing your Chicago State t-shirt, which you should be wearing your Chicago State t-shirt, you can talk to a student or a parent or someone looking for graduate education about coming to Chicago State. If every alumni brought one student to Chicago State, if every alumni thought about the clubs and the organizations that they belong to, the churches, the links, all of your various fraternities and sororities, and you thought, I should bring the president here, I should bring enrollment management here, just so people can hear about Chicago State. Absolutely. Imagine how effective that would be.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I know that I sometimes carry it like I'm carrying a billboard.
Yeah.
I have personally arranged for tours for high schools to come onto campus and to get exposed, and have seen that yield where students have enrolled as a result of that. Tell us a little bit about our current demographic. What is the CSU student profile looking like today?
So we continue to be a predominantly Black institution. We are 70% Black, African American. Another 10%. We're about 10% Latinx. And then let's talk about our break it down even further. 48% of our undergraduate students are first generation college students. So we continue to serve that population. 62% of our students are Pell Grant eligible. That means our students are 62% of our students are high need, and our average age is 29.
Okay, that's a little bit younger than we might have thought, because it seems like, to your point, that the student today is an older student. So the average age of 29 still is that sweet spot. I love it.
Yeah, that's for Chicago State. That's what makes us unique.
Absolutely. What majors are most popular with our students today?
So what we're seeing right now is an increased interest in healthcare fields. So nursing is one of our popular majors, and as you mentioned, psychology is one of our popular majors, and so is criminal justice. Our students are coming from areas where they have an interest in learning more about how the systems work, that in those systems that it have an incredible impact on their own communities.
I love that curiosity and actually putting themselves in positions where they can change the narrative, right?
Absolutely.
That is phenomenal. So with the graduation rate, which of these programs do you see? I know which ones are popular, but which ones do you see are actually matriculating students?
Well, I think all of them. I went to the pinning ceremony this year for our nursing, as our nursing students graduated, and what you see in these majors like healthcare, 100% employment upon a graduation and passing of the licensing exams. We're starting to see an uptick in education graduates again, and our criminal justice majors are still moving through and out, and so are our graduates in the arts.
Excellent. Can you talk a little bit about the MBA program?
That is an exciting thing. We graduated our first class of MBA students in May of last year, and it was in our Argo class, and it was an exciting time. And I'll tell you, people, when we were first putting the program together prior to it being launched, we had a number of focus group sessions with business professionals across the city, talking about the various aspects and concentrations in the business program. And we had an investment in our program, a consistent investment from the Hyatt Corporation. And once our graduates completed the program, the Hyatt Corporation offered an internship to 3 of our graduates, a 2-week C-suite rotation for 3 of our graduates who also happen to be CSU employees. So for 2 weeks, our CSU employees, instead of reporting for duty at Chicago State, were reporting to the Hyatt Corporation. They went down, they had meetings with them, they took them through leadership exercises, they went through various rotations about the operations of the company, and they learned, and they were invested in terms of their own leadership as they returned to Chicago State. And that was the kind of partnerships I think are invaluable. It would be difficult for me to bring our resources to give them the leadership and exposure they got through that internship with the Hyatt Corporation.
I agree. And what a great way to sort of change their lens, if you will, because they're able to go outside and look at a different corporate culture in a different industry, but bring those transferable skills back to CSU. That is awesome. So let's talk a little bit then on that same tone, how alumni can support that effort, perhaps internships.
I just saw some statistics today that were, we did a collaboration with the University of Chicago, looking at some of the experiences of our students alongside of others. And it's very clear to me that we really need to continue to push internships for our students. It is proven that a student that engages in an internship while during their undergraduate education will earn more not only upon graduation, but through on their lifetime. So internships have a proven monetary value, and that's something that our alum can do. Think about a student for an internship, even if it's just 2 to 3 weeks, working alongside of you and your business, sitting with you and your clients, and really learning what it means to show up for work every day. We've been very intentional even about our work study. Work study has to be take on the character now of an internship, giving students valuable business lessons while they're in their work study assignments.
I so appreciate you saying that. I've had the wonderful experience of engaging with LaCal at the Career Development Center and connecting alumni to her. She's sharing with me opportunities that they have. I'm sharing with her opportunities that I find out here, and really just looking at how we can help support our student scholars with bringing them real world experience, because fresh eyes are beautiful and they come just with a different perspective.
I mean, one day I want to share with you some of the videos. I mean, some of the news stories that have been done recently on our internship programs with Leo Burnett and Spark Foundry, two companies that are part of Publicis. Our students, they came in and created a boot camp in one of our courses, and then 5 students had internships as a result of going through that boot camp. Imagine having an opportunity to work during the summer for a global PR firm, and then going to work there after your graduation. And we've got a full-time course running right now on digital media that's being taught by Spark Foundry, a global company that's part of Publicis. So we're excited about those kind of opportunities too.
Absolutely. And I know that you've had a great focus on mentoring. And let's talk a little bit about that with the alumni and the focus that we have on the mentorship program at the university.
So we're really trying to encourage our alum and corporate partners to engage with our students in a way that is meaningful and intentional, because many of our students, as you heard that statistic, 48% of our students are first generation college students. They are coming to this cold, and they're coming to this with a lot of hope, and they need a lot of encouragement. And that encouragement often just comes from somebody outside of the university saying, keep at it, keep going. I've been there. It's been my experience. Let me talk to you about studying. Let me talk to you about what it means to interview. Just coming at it from a place of, I've been there and I want to help. Many of our students need that kind of support.
Absolutely. And I'm also going to make another plug for the Career Development Center's Cougar Closet. And alumni, this is a great opportunity for you to freshen up your closet and help out a wonderful student scholar by giving them interview clothing that they can go out and present well for these opportunities for mentorships and internships. So let's all go in, pull out those business suits. I know that we still, we're all doing a casual work at home thing, but we have those business suits in the closet, and we might as well pull them out and get them get good use out of those by donating them to the Cougar Closet. I'm going to switch gears a little bit here. And so many, we have this Facebook group, and there are about a little bit more than 800 alumni on our Facebook group. And so preparing for this conversation, I polled the Facebook group. I'm like, what do you guys want to talk about? And it was cool that so many were interested in our athletics.
And interesting.
Yes. They want to know how we're doing with our athletics program, and the conference selection and all that great stuff. And I know that our athletics director, Elliot Charles, has been in Indy lately and working on that. So what you got for us?
There's a lot. First of all, there's a lot. Thank you for our alum for being interested in how we're doing. with a major investment for the university in the collegiate athletic programs. Many people don't know we are a D1 program, which means that we're playing at the top level and participating at the top level in sports. Chicago State has 15 different athletic teams. Not one, not two, not just basketball, but 15. We're playing golf, we're running track, we're playing tennis, soccer, volleyball, and we're doing a lot of it well right now. And so I want to give first of all, a real big shout out to Elliot Charles, who invests so much time and energy and innovation in the program. But this past year, I'm going to give you some highlights. You know, our women's volleyball team won more games than they've won in the history of the program. And one of our players on the women's volleyball team was the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference champion. She was the player of the year. And our women's volleyball coach was the coach of the year. We have never won those kinds of accolades directed toward any sports program that we have. And now let's turn to basketball. In basketball, we are making history. We are breaking records, lost records. That's what we're breaking. We're breaking records in terms of our wins within our own athletic programs, our losses on the road, our wins at home. So both of our programs, which have fairly new coaches among our women and our men, are seeing some real good progress. On our women's team, we have one freshman player who has won Player of the Week 5 times in a row, unprecedented in Chicago State athletics. And this week, one of our men's tennis team members won Player of the Week. So what we're seeing is what Elliot predicted is that we are in our championship era. And Yvette, I want to speak to one thing you mentioned. It's about our athletic conference decision. A decision is coming. It's coming. We are leaving the Western Athletic Conference. Many people will say, why were you there in the first place? But that's what I inherited. We are leaving the Western Athletic Conference, which is now located west. And most of our teams are playing, especially conference play, is taking place in places like Mexico, Southern California, Utah, Seattle. And we are moving our conference affiliation. And we leave the Western Athletic Conference effective June 30th of this year. Many people know that we are hosting and taking meetings with various athletic conferences about that our new conference home, and hopefully we'll be making a decision this month, by the end of this month or early next month, on our new conference home. So stay tuned. Big decisions.
I hear a drum roll.
Yeah, big decisions to come.
I love it. I love it. Well, how can alumni support our student athletes?
You know, our student athletes are, in my mind, some of our biggest assets. They're some of our best students, and you know their GPAs are off the charts. But come to the games. You know, you can see me at the games. You can see me in the stands. And if you want to host something, let us know. We can try to make sure that, you know, if you want to host your friends for a game or a little tailgate, let us know. You know, make a donation to our teams. You know, we're in the process of trying to find more sponsorships for our program. We have a whole campaign around Pride, Cougar Pride, going on right now, where you can make a donation to support the team and the teams and the players. And again, you can think about us in not only in your giving, but really what you do with your time. Support the home team, because the home team is really delivering right now. And come out for one of our Saturday games. It's Saturday, 1:00 in the afternoon. Give us an hour and a half of your time. You know, it'll make the players happy to see somebody in the stands. Yvette, I saw you there for our game against Tennessee State, and that was one of our most attended games. Our band is sometimes there for entertainment. So think of it as a family outing.
And lots of fun. The energy in the convocation center was electric. It was beautiful.
It wasn't amazing. It was
Yes.
amazing.
Yes, and
amazing.
It was so cool to see so many alumni and Greeks out. And
right, yeah.
I'm glad that we were there because my mom always said, when people show up at your house, be there to greet them.
That's true. That's always a good deal, right?
And we were there because TSU's Alumni Association was definitely out.
They were there.
Yes, they were. So let's switch over a little bit more. And you mentioned what you inherited earlier. And let's talk about the inheritance of some of the opportunities for campus upgrades.
Oh, wow.
What do you have on the boiler for capital improvements for grounds and facilities?
I would say, first of all, most people don't know that most of the construction on the campus is controlled almost exclusively by the state because it's state funded, and so therefore we have to manage our construction on campus with the Capital Development Board. So they are the ones that hire the contractors. They are the ones that hire the architects to do the design. And we have to facilitate some of that, but a lot of it is exclusively in the state's hands. But we do advocate for certain projects. And right now, we have $80 million in contracts pending for construction on Chicago State's campus. And that's a lot of money. And then let me tell you where it's going to be devoted to. We're old. Our campus was built in the 70s. So many of our people, if you've been there lately, you do notice there's some cracks in certain, especially at our sidewalks and our parking lots. Our sidewalks and parking lots are going to receive a big overhaul this summer. The contractors have been on the campus. They've been doing the measurements. They've been going down into the potholes and while they repair the potholes and the parking lots and the sidewalks, they're also going to prepare our light poles because our light poles have been in critical shape for about 3 or 4 years. And while they're doing that, we're also going to have a complete overhaul of our elevator systems. And while they're doing that, they're also going to completely overhaul our pools. Our pools have been out of commission for a couple of years. And so they have promised me, and I can't take it back because I've kicked up a lot of dust on this, is that within the 2 weeks, you're going to start to see demolition work in the pools, and the pools will be back online by summer. So I'm excited about that. We also have some significant projects going on. We're building a new healthcare simulation lab to support our health students. We're also bringing in a new institute to the tune of like $1.9 million. That is part of a larger program among the other public universities. So there's a lot going on in terms of repair and replacement at Chicago State. So what the administrative facilities VP has told me, this is going to be a new campus by fall. And we're doing what we can. What people often wonder about, what's the plan for the Robinson Center? I mean, it's been vacant for a number of years, but at least we've known right now, the state has spent a lot of money right now preserving the building. They have done a lot of work in the last probably month and a half, preserving the exterior in the roof. And hopefully we'll see some more investment in that. But to come, a project that is finished, it is our Child Development Center. It is finished.
That is amazing.
We have not had childcare on our campus since the Robinson Center closed. And we got some significant private donation to build a childcare center in the College of Education. It will house will serve about 70 children and provide before school and after school care for that's much needed by some of our student parents. So we'll be sending you a ribbon cutting because the project cannot open until it's licensed by DCFS, but it is complete. But we also know that we need more childcare services. But for now, Using the private donations that we received, we've been able to do something that will support our student parents.
That is phenomenal. Will the Child Care Center be only open to student parents, or will it be open to the community as well?
It won't be open to the community right now because we don't have enough capacity to move. But we're looking to see if we'll be able to support some staff. But it is designed for students because we have so many students. 30% of our students have a need for childcare.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was one of those students. My daughter sat in the back of the classroom.
You and everybody else's child. One more person say, I brought my child to school.
Absolutely. What about for the dorms? Tell what's going on with the dorms.
Well, our dorms are, we haven't had a new dorm in since we built the campus. We have been, we've asked the state a couple of times through our budget request to provide us funding to build a dorm that would support our graduate student populations, our student families. But we have not been fortunate enough to get that funding. There was interest, and then COVID hit. But here's a project that's going on right now, and hopefully we'll be able to do something with this. You may know that we're involved in a project with the City of Chicago Department of Planning, where we've been looking at 95th Street as a pathway for economic development in our neighborhood. One of the projects that will probably be recommended coming out of that project is a new living structure on our campus that would be funded through a public-private partnership. All of this is, got a what if, but I think, I really do think with the renovation of the metro station at 95th and Cottage, and with the need with the Discover Financial coming into our community, and with the projects going on in Pullman as it becomes it solidifies itself as a national park, there will be opportunity to bring more housing to our campus as a result of this project that we're doing around economic development. And where we're thinking about is at the corner of, just imagine, everybody knows the campus, the corner of 95th and Cottage, where the new renovated station will be, that we put up a project that is in part housing and in part retail.
Nice. Mixed use would be phenomenal. One of the, I have always, and as you and I've discussed in the past, I grew up walking to campus, and I've always felt that Chicago State should be the economic catalyst for the community. So I am so excited to see that the university is taking that leadership role in the 95th Street redevelopment, and also even the work that you're doing with DCEO. I think that there is just awesome tentacles to that, and I'm glad that Chicago State is being recognized as that hub in the community. Congratulations.
You know what, Yvette, this is not a question, but I do want to offer this to our alumni. There's so many, opportunities that come with education. And if you feel as if your skill set is not where it needs to be right now, get a graduate degree and work with us in making sure that you position yourself to be able to really promote, build your career and launch your career anew from that graduate education. And I want people to think about what it means to be an alum of an institution like Chicago State. You have lifetime use of our career services, but we are often reluctant to just come out and say, I want somebody to help me put up a LinkedIn post. I want somebody to help me rewrite this resume. I want somebody to help me rethink what I want to do next. You should be a lifelong learner and think about Chicago State is a place to come back to and really retool your career. We have jobs that come to Chicago State for our alum that go for the begging. Discover Financial is looking to hire our alum. And if you go to Discover Financial, they will pay for your education if you want to go back to school. So there's so many people who are providing scholarships, and job opportunities to our students. And I want our alum to think about us as a consistent resource for them as they move through their professional careers.
I love that. And to your point earlier in regards to, and I'm going to double back just a little bit on the pandemic mentality, if you will, because what I found as an upside was so many people reimagined themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They reimagined their life, they reimagined their careers. And to your point, to realize that we have this great asset that is right here for us, that we could come back to and say, I need a little bit more help. And this is a continuous process. We have to be lifelong learners or we become antiquated, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I totally am in agreement. I want to hit you back on that capital, though. I want to find out, how can alumni support the capital improvement efforts? What can we do?
If you want to support our capital improvement efforts, when you make your donation, make the donation toward general operation for the university. A lot of the money people think needs to go to scholarship, but there's also needs that we have as a campus. We need to update our laboratories. Right now we're bringing in new water fountains. Things break and things need to get fixed. So if you think about how you can support our capital needs, make a donation to the university around our capital needs that we can put in place to really move us, renovate, and keep us moving forward. That's how you can support it. Or if you want to make a donation to we still have needs around our child care center. If you specifically want to donate to our child care center, you can designate your donation to go there. There's still things that we need to do that really bring that thing to where bringing the operations to where they need to be.
Thank you. Another thought that I had too, to your point, is programmatic support, because so often alumni say, I want to support the College of Education. I want to support CMAT. And so you can direct your donation accordingly, correct?
Absolutely. You can direct your donation specifically to a program or a college if you want to. We have donations like that. Like there's a specific endowment that just supports people who are interested in education degrees. But I would be remiss in not saying this state is desperately in need of teachers. So if you want to do a pivot and come back and get your education degree, we have resources for you to help you get to that career.
I love it. I love it. And definitely our youth need us. They need all of that seasoning to come back, get retooled so that we can give them the foundation that they need. I totally agree with you.
Our children need to see people that look like themselves.
Yes, yes. So to that point, you alluded earlier to some opportunities with some of our partners for employment. But before we started this evening, you were sharing with me a couple of opportunities for employment on campus. And
Absolutely.
I've had alumni ask, they want to know, is CSU hiring? What's out there?
CSU was hiring. And one job that I was looking at myself today, I asked somebody to send me the job description because I'm thinking about posting it on my own social media, is that we have openings for a opening for a COVID project manager, COVID-19 project manager. This person it's an amazing opportunity. You'd be working with the administration, you'd be working with students, you'd be working with the dean of students, really helping us manage our COVID response in compliance with our COVID protocols. We have a COVID task force that meets once a week, and it develops policies and recommendations on how we can continue to keep our campus safe and well. We are responsible right now to an executive order put in place by the governor that relates to testing and vaccination. We need help with that compliance process. So we really need somebody who is interested in project management and has strong organization skills to manage our campus-wide project COVID-19 response. The details and responsibilities are summarized in the job description, but all you need is a bachelor's degree and 1 year of project management or planning experience in order to apply. It's a great job, full benefits, full-time employment. So if you want a chance to really engage with your alma mater in a meaningful way and a project that is really interesting, and it, like I said, engages all aspects of the university, including our wellness center, think about applying for that job. I'm here to make the plug.
I love it. Well, and we're really dealing with the new normal, right? And so as we are doing this, I don't look that we're ever going to be pre-COVID again. And so it's all in getting all the learnings out of this and operationalizing those learnings so that we can grow from it, right? I totally agree with you on that. I look today at the employment. Every now and then I just go out there and look just because I'm nosy like that. And there are a lot of job postings, both for faculty and staff.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of faculty jobs open, yeah.
Is there a particular department that Ron Lynch just put in? He likes track and field.
Yeah, well,
is there a particular department from a faculty position that
first of all, I seldom really know the faculty roles open, but I do know that we're looking for deans. We're looking for a dean of continuing education, a dean for health sciences, a dean for the library, a dean. Yeah, so those are some of the dean roles that are open. In administration, like I said, we're looking for a new vice president for enrollment management. We're also looking for a new general counsel.
Wow.
Yeah, a new associate general counsel. So we have been, just like everybody else, we've had some resignations. Here's what I'm proud of when I see resignations. Many people go on to incredibly fabulous jobs, and they're being launched from Chicago State. And I only can do one thing, and that's wish them well.
Yes.
Because I'm proud of the fact that they've been able to take their Chicago State experience and triple it in terms of their next job.
Absolutely. And what a great testament to CSU, right? When they're out there in the world. And where did you get your education? Chicago State University. I love it. So tell us why you feel having a strong alumni association and engaged alumni is important for Chicago State specifically.
Well, first of all, like I said before, we are a predominantly Black institution, and culturally, we rise and fall with community, right? And our relationships are important. And so it is those relationships that will drive Chicago State to return to its height. And so if each alumni, like I said, you brought groups, Yvette, and we're grateful for your uncompensated commitment to Chicago State. We just love you for it. If each alumni invited me to their church, and then during that service, 2 students chose to think about Chicago State as a possibility for education. Imagine what we would look like in the fall. And it's not as if, we are not offering something that is spectacular in terms of the student experience. Today, I reached out to the dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, and I said, how are our PhD students who are in STEM doing? He said, oh, I'll check in with them. Because we have so many students who've left Chicago State who entered STEM PhD programs. We have 2 students at Georgetown right now, one majoring in medical physics and the other one in astrophysics. So that they are a product of Chicago State. So the idea is students come to us and we are able to take them and really propel them to new heights. So our alumni, the best thing you can do in addition to giving money and giving time, but also encourage others to think about the possibilities of Chicago State.
Absolutely. Again, I reflect on coming into Chicago State University, and I was a young mom. And so I was working full time, going to school full time, and raising my child full time. And I had the full college experience right there at Chicago State University. And my daughter rode on the CSU float with her "I'm a future AKA" shirt on at 4 years old. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear about it. When you think about it too, and when you're marketing Chicago State, you're telling people things like your freshman year is free. You have no expenses for books, no expenses for computers, no student fees. Your tuition is completely paid. And they said, well, I need a place that offers housing and can't afford. Well, we have housing scholarships for students who believe that they're best served by living on campus during that freshman year. So those are kind of things that people, need to know about. And they say, I want to teach. Well, come be a diverse scholar or a call me mister. I want to be a lawyer. Well, we have a program. You do your first 3 years at Chicago State. And before you finish that bachelor's, you enter law school. And where we have strong relationships. And we now have partnerships with our HBCUs. A pathway agreement with Morgan State. You want to be an engineer? You do your first 2 years at Chicago State, and then you can do your last 2 to 3 years and earn a bachelor's or a master's at Morgan State, which is #1 in the country for graduating electrical engineers, Black electrical engineers. So there's so many possibilities that are open to people who choose us as a destination.
Where do you see CSU in 5 years?
Well, it's going to be spectacular, so get ready, right? Our band, our membership in our band is growing, and we have so much national attention being paid to the university. I get, because of the work that we're doing around student success and student retention, and our innovation work, people are coming to us to ask us questions about what we're doing and how it's going. And so in the next 5 years, I expect that there'll be a new building on our campus. Our Metro stop will have been innovated, and Chicago State's student enrollment will have doubled in the next 5 years because of what we're offering students and the need for institutions that are culturally competent to educate our students. And that we will see a significant rise in college-going behavior among our high school students in the high schools that surround our university. Because what we're seeing right now is a drop in college attendance in those high schools. But we've hired a dual enrollment coordinator who's going into these schools directly and offering students free college courses while in high school right now.
That is amazing. When you think about it, and I spent 5 years working in a high school. And when you think about the fact that so many of our students in the communities, they are not being shown their possibilities. They've been told their probabilities. And to allow them to look through a lens that CSU offers. And again, I look at it from an alumni perspective, and to your point, the ability to influence them to that it does not take a whole bunch of money. There are opportunities here, and there are institutions and people who truly, truly care about you and your growth. I love that you said culturally able to teach them, because often that's the part that's missed, because they don't relate. And so to come into an environment like Chicago State, where there are people who are in tune to them culturally and truly are there for not just to get them through and not just to get numbers in, but to actually invest in their personal and professional growth is beautiful. Tell me how you influence that top down, because it's one thing in the classroom, right? The faculty has that one-to-one and they're teaching a subject, but there are so many other touch points for our students.
Right, and here's the thing: we've got a customer service strategy this semester. Our faculty, our administration will be going through customer service training this to learn how to be better at responding to people, because students are now consumers. They have a different expectation of their experience, and most students are looking for an experience when they're thinking about college. And so the first time you meet and engage with somebody, you want them to walk away with a positive experience. So we're going to be looking at how we engage with our students.
I love that. And it's all about the experience, everything.
And like I said before, we're hopeful that our students will this year also begin to re-experience international travel. I know that one of our professors is headed to Mexico for his research, and he'll be taking a student along with them to Mexico to have that out of country research experience. So we're hoping more of that is able to occur this semester too.
I love it. Give us a call to action.
Call to action. First of all, watch my presidential lecture series. I have three alum who will be interviewed by CSU students during Black History Month during the presidential lecture series. Dr. Brian Clay, who is a graduate of Chicago State with a degree in, I think, biology. We will have the former dean of the University of Arkansas Law School, Cindy Nash, who will be interviewed, and she'll be talking about leaving Chicago and going straight to Chicago State and going straight to law school after graduating magna cum laude with a degree in economics. And Tony Anderson, who is a retired executive from Ernst & Young, who sits on 4 corporate boards, will also be part of the lecture series. So support the presidential lecture series, call to action, support Chicago State, come to a game, cheer on your Cougars, buy your spirit wear it everywhere, including the airport, including the church, wherever you go, wear CSU spirit wear. And, and just think of us in terms of it's just great thoughts, put great stuff into the atmosphere when you think about your alumni association, Chicago State. And if you haven't seen Women in the Movement, you will see Chicago State Teachers College is featured in Women in the Movement. You know what I'm talking about, Yvette?
Yes.
Yeah, it's featured along because Mamie Till is a graduate of Emmett Till's mother is a graduate of Chicago State, and there are images in the movie. So watch us, be about us.
President Scott, I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for being the phenomenal leader that you are. Thank you for your heart for Chicago State University. Thank you for your vision for Chicago State University and your investment of your personal self into Chicago State University. We are phenomenal because we have great leadership, and your Alumni Association is with you. We are your lead cheerleaders. We're on your team. And thank you so very, very much for being our partner in this. It's gonna be great. 5 years, it's not gonna take that long. Anna, I'm gonna give it back to you.
What a great conversation. Thank you, President Scott and President Warren. And thank you, alumni, for tuning in tonight. Chicago State Foundation and Chicago State University are committed to this partnership with the Alumni Association, and I couldn't be more thankful for that. With that, I'd like to invite you all to attend a few upcoming events. On February 14th at 12 p.m., the CSU Counseling Department presents Black Mental Health Day, a critical dialogue surrounding the intricacies of Black mental health and wellness. Later this month, on February 22nd, the CSU Office of Career Development will host a virtual financial literacy workshop. And on March 24th, they will host a virtual resume building workshop. To attend these events, update your email information at csu.edu/alumni and select Update My Info. And follow the Foundation's Facebook page and join the Alumni Association's Facebook group. Lastly, I want to encourage everyone to support your alma mater with a gift to Chicago State Foundation. Gifts can be made securely online at csu.edu/donate, and they go towards supporting current students and future CSU students. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.